Hello everyone, I'm Trish Triumpho Sullivan, and I'm going to be your instructor for Introduction to Photography, or Photo1. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how important photography is in all of our lives, and how it affects us every day. I want you to take this class very seriously. It is a serious class. It does transfer to all UC and CSU campuses. Um, and um, and we're gonna have a fun time. But I want you to think for just a minute about what our world would be like without photographs. Just think about it. What would we be missing? Well, photographs for one. A lot of times my students say memories, we'd miss our memories. Well, we can still remember things in our head, that's true. Um, Photographs help a little bit. However, there's so much more that we would be missing. Remember, without photography, we would be missing what? Movies, videos, and basically the internet as we know it. Think about it. Do you guys remember, anyone old enough to remember what computers looked like before we had the internet? It was kind of a dark screen with green or blue lettering on it. There were no images. You didn't have images on the computer at all. Um, in fact, video games would be something would be missing, right? Without photography, no video games. A lot of people who enjoy video games would be really put out by that, right? So we wouldn't have the video games. In fact, when computers first came out, you know what the big video game was? Pong, right? Pong, where this little ball bounced slowly. That was the most exciting thing, right? That was before Pac-Man or any of the other video games that we have that were a little more interactive. Pong was the big deal. We could actually play a game on the computer, right? So think about an internet or a computer system without any images whatsoever. And you would think about a world without photography. In fact, computers might not even be around if it weren't for photography and cameras, if you think about it. It's the basis for a lot of technology that we use today. And it informs us, right? We're so used to having our access to photographs. And they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And it's absolutely true. We can learn things from photographs that we could read a whole book and maybe not understand properly. So photographs are a very useful tool in our lives and a huge part of our lives. When I ask you to imagine your life or the world without photography, you really need to think about that. Like, wow, what would it be like? Well, we wouldn't have movies, right? Of course, we wouldn't be able to take pictures with our cell phones. You know, how many of you guys use your cell phones every single day to take photographs? So I know I do, and I'm a photographer, so I have a camera and a bunch of cameras. So yeah, it's it's a it's something that's so pervasive in our everyday world that it's very difficult to imagine our world without it. How many of you guys have been to the moon? Maybe in a dream, right? Well, unless you're an astronaut, you haven't been. But you know what it looks like, don't you? You know what it looks like because you've seen a photograph or many photographs or a video, right? How many of you have been to the bottom of the ocean? Not many scuba divers out there? Well, it doesn't matter if you've been to the bottom of the ocean or not, because you know what it looks like. You know what's down there. You know what's down there because you've seen a photograph, right? The photograph has informed you, that it has educated you. The same with Africa. How many of you guys have been to Africa? Well, it doesn't matter. You know what the animals in Africa look like. You know what an elephant looks like, or a lion, even if you've never been to a zoo, because you've seen a photograph, right? You've seen it on TV. So a world without photography, think about it. No movies, no videos, no TV, no cell phones as we know them, right? Because we were used to using them for cameras. And probably a lot of the technology would be so different. We might have computers, we might have an internet, but we wouldn't have a way to illustrate it. So photography is incredibly important in our everyday lives. And learning how to take great photographs is what we're going to be doing in this class. You're going to be taking photographs that are going to inform your viewers about your perception of life, right? You're all historians. Every single one of you, every photograph you take is part of history now. It's kind of a cool thought, isn't it? You're part of history. You're making history every single day, every photograph you take. When you look back at old photographs of, like, say, downtown Salinas with all the cool old cars, imagine the photograph that you take today in 100 years is going to be one of those cool old photographs. People are like, wow, look at those old cars, right? Wow, that's a 2000 car. They don't have cars in the future, right? They're probably going to have some kind of flying vehicles. Anyway, photography is important. I want you to take this class very seriously, but I want you to enjoy it too, and we're going to have a good time. So stick with me. Welcome to Photography at Hartnell College. I'm Trish Triumpho Sullivan, and I'll see you in class.